My name is Alex Incorvaja. I'm the director of the Malta Tourism Authority here in London, responsible for the UK and Ireland. Taking a full 360, I actually started working at the Malta Tourism Authority in 1994, so I have done a full turnover here. But my background is hotels, and I've had positions in sales and marketing with Starwood Hotels and Resorts and Intercontinental Hotels Group, both in Malta and Rome. I'm responsible for the marketing of the destination in the UK and Ireland, so this is a multifaceted responsibility in terms of marketing, promotion, advertising, PR. I am the one that puts everything together and make sure that it is presented and the destination is presented on a platform that is applicable for all types of markets. Well, Malta is it's an island strategically placed in the middle of the Mediterranean, so we are bang in the middle of the Mediterranean. It's a population of 410,000 people. Most recently we're occupied by the British, so there's a heavy British influence, but we are a republic and as recently as 2004 became a member of the EU. We like to say that we have 300 days of sunshine, so the weather is good pretty much throughout the year. We are not just about sun and sea, as many people think. We've got 7,000 years of history, UNESCO World Heritage Sites, recently voted as the best diving destination in the Mediterranean by Diver magazine. We are increasingly promoting the lifestyle aspect of the destination, so spas, relaxation, weekend breaks, cultural breaks. Weddings is becoming an important market for us, not to mention the MICE market as well. So all in all, there is a lot to do and see, and this is just 3 hours away from main UK airports. We measure our performance, our ROI, if you will, on 3 platforms. Number 1, probably most importantly, is the number of visitors that come to the island. Number 2 is the length of stay. And number 3 is the how much money they leave. So the average spend of the tourist. The past 5 out of the past 6 years have been record years for us. The UK market in particular, we've seen a growth of 10% over the past 3 years. So giving these numbers, this is how we measure our return. How do we promote the destination? In this day and age, there are a number of mediums to promote the destination. If we talk about the UK, one big event in particular is World Travel Market in November. We cater for about 14 partners, so hotels, travel agents, 155 square meter stand, 3 days of meetings, intense meetings from really 10 to 5. So that's sort of one aspect. So it's a networking at travel fairs, road shows with agents, dinners, lunches. We like to be out there to be seen, and in my opinion, this is the most important part of creating relationships and nurturing relationships. Obviously, there's the advertising side, so we've got a full 360-degree approach where we'll advertise in newspapers, magazines, outdoor opportunities, so buses, taxis, bus shelters, and not to mention obviously the online phenomenon, which we're increasing our activity tenfold year on year. We have walking tours, so the active approach, that is going to be a focus of ours in terms of walking, jeep safaris, diving, kayaking as well as something quite new, sailing, not to mention as we're an island. Weddings and honeymoons as well. This is again going to be a focus of ours. So as you can see, I mean, there are a number of. It's not just one particular thing we are focusing. Obviously, 85% of our tourists still visit for the sun and the sea. So we do work very closely with traditional operators, with Malta specialists, and more recently with niche operators, so much so that ATO are coming to Malta at the end of the year for their annual conference. So these particular operators, where typically they'll specialize in either sailing or history or culture or walking tours, these are very, very important for us. And other segments which is very important to us is the youth market. We host on an annual basis the Isle of MTV concert, largest free outdoor concert on the European calendar, end of June. And it's a conscientious effort as part of our strategy to diversify the age brackets of the visiting tourists. So typically in the past we've been possibly known for a more mature market, but in this day and age and today, I mean, Malta is very much a destination for everybody. We are a typically small setup. We've got six full-timers within the UK office. However, we do have a full communication agency. When I say a full communication agency, I'm meaning that it's not just an advertising agency that does our media buying. So we do a lot of work with our media agency, a lot of work with our PR agency, but that's only part of it because we work very closely with the leading tour operators, both the traditional ones, the mainstream ones, and also the Malta specialists and the niche ones. So we'd like to have a fully integrated approach over here, where it's not just about advertising and thus dealing with our advertising agency. It is being constantly involved, talking about marketing and advertising plans with our tour operator partners. So we do have, when I say we work together with tour operators, we actually have marketing plans in place, which they control together with our inputs. And this could be everything from an online campaign to a newspaper advertising campaign to some YouTube advertising. So it's, again, fully integrated, where we encompass my specific team that look after the various segments that work with the tour operators. We look after, I look after the communication side of things via our advertising agency, but more importantly with our key partners. The challenges we're facing in Malta as a destination, I believe, we are not a seasonal destination, but most of our business does come in the summer months. So what we are trying to do is flatten that seasonality curve to be more appealing and make Malta more appealing to consumers who want to come in the winter months, for example. So what are we doing to counteract that issue? Creating an interesting calendar of events, for example. At the end of January, we have what we call the Valletta International Baroque Festival. So we are targeting a particular niche of cultural enthusiasts who want to come to Malta, who are interested in Baroque music. And this is being done not in the height of summer, it's being done at the end of January, which typically would be our lowest month in terms of tourist arrivals. Another challenge that we're facing, I think, as the Mediterranean basin in general, are the consequences of the Arab Spring, where we've seen Tunisia and Egypt in particular, possibly Turkey, where through their unfortunate troubles, there's a lot of discounting going in place, and thus we as a destination, or particularly our stakeholders, so the hotels and ground handlers, are being put under tremendous pressure to also push down their prices, which I think in the long run is unsustainable. Malta, it's going to be a very biased response over here, but I think that Malta is a fantastic destination to visit, be it for 3-4 days or for an extended stay. My personal best experience within traveling to Malta is discovering Malta by boats, by sailing boats. So there are a lot of undiscovered coves and bays and beaches around the islands that are only accessible via boat, by sailing boat. So for me, that would be, if I have to give you one experience of what I would do when I go into Malta, that would be it. Obviously, not to mention the culture, the people, the cuisine is very Mediterranean with a Maltese hint, and the overall sort of relaxation aspect of the destination. That is the most appealing to me.